Welcome back, children. I hope all of you have enjoyed your holidays. Now we will start our lesson. We have already completed 2 classes on this shoemaker. The rest of the chapter we will see today. And in your previous class, you have seen that Mr. Laurie and Lucy went to see Dr. Manette, who was released from the prison after 18 years. And when they reached there, they found that he was a broken man. And now I will discuss the rest of the lesson. The shoe dropped to the ground, and he sat looking fixedly at the questioner. When Laurie was giving the shoe, it fell to the ground. Well, he could not take it properly, so it fell to the ground. And he sat looking fixedly at the questioner. Dr. Manette started looking. He was going on staring at the questioner. That means at Laurie, he was going on looking. Monsieur Manette, Miss Laurie continued. Miss Laurie asked him, Monsieur Manette, means Mr. Mr. Laurie continued, do you remember nothing of this man? You are not remembering anything about this man. Look at him. Just look at him properly. Look at me. You just see me. Is there no old banker, no old business, no old servant, no old time rising in your mind, Monsieur Manette? Monsieur Manette, nothing of that sort is coming in your mind. No old banker, old business, old servant, old time. Nothing is coming in your brain, in your mind. As the captive of many years sat looking fixedly by turns at Miss Laurie and Defarge, some long forgotten memories seemed to gradually force themselves through the black mist that had fallen on him. As the captive of many years, he was in the prison for many years. He was looking fixedly at those people by turns. That means at Laurie once again, at Defarge, like that he was looking at them. Some long forgotten memories seemed to gradually force themselves through the black mist that had fallen on him. They could see on his face some unwanted or very bad things came. That means he was not happy to recollect all those things. But they were soon clouded over and then they were gone. After that, all those feelings which he had on his face disappeared. A gloomy darkness fell on him again. Again, a gloomy darkness. Again, he became sad and gloomy. With a deep, long sigh, he took the shoe up and resumed his work. He took the shoe again and he took a deep, long sigh. With a deep, long sigh, took a long breath and he took the shoe up and resumed his work. He started his work again. Lucy moved from the wall of the garret very near to the bench on which he sat. Now slowly, Lucy moved from the wall of the garret. Garret means a room at the top of the house. Usually it is for storing things. In such a room only he was, because he did not want to be in light. Always he preferred darkness. That's why he was given such a room. Lucy moved from the wall of the garret very near to the bench on which he sat. Where he sat, near to that place, she slowly moved. Not a word was spoken, not a sound was made. She did not speak anything, and without making much noise, she went near him. She stood like a bright spirit beside him, just like an angel. She stood beside him, and he bent over his work. He was going on doing his work. He was bending down and going on doing his work. Then, as he reached down to pick up an awl, when he was about to take an awl is the instrument used for making holes in the leather. As he reached down to pick up an awl, his eyes caught the skirt of her dress. He found the side skirt of the dress, means edge of the dress. His eyes caught the skirt of her dress. At the edge of that edge part of the dress, he could see. He raised them and saw her face. He just lifted his face and he could see the dress and he saw her face. He stared at her with a startled look, with a puzzled look. All of a sudden, when he saw her, he was puzzled. He stared at her with a startled look, and after a while, his lips began to form some words. He was about to say something, though no sound proceeded from them. He could not speak anything, but he was trying his level best to say something, but nothing came out. By degrees, in the pause of his quick and labored breathing, he whispered, "What is this? Who are you?" By degrees, in the pauses of his quick and labored breathing, that means he was gradually, he was trying with great difficulty, he was trying with great effort, he was trying to say something. He whispered in a very low voice, he said, "What is this? Who are you?" So he was trying to speak something, and with great difficulty or effort, he could say this much only, "What is this? Who are you?" This much he spoke. To overcome with emotion to be able to speak, she sat down on the bench beside him. To overcome with emotion, she was too much affected with emotion to be able to speak. That means she was not able to say anything because that much emotional she became. She sat down on the bench beside him. He laid the awl down softly. He kept the awl down. As he sat staring at her, he started looking at her like anything. That means he did not take out his eyes from her. He was staring at her. Her golden hair, which she wore in long curls, had been hurriedly pushed aside. That hair came forward, so it was pushed aside and fell down over her neck. It went on her neck. Advancing his hand little by little, he took it up and looked at it. Advancing his hand little by little bit, he just started showing his hand towards her. He took it up and looked at it. He started looking at it. "What's your name, my gentle angel? What's your name?" Lucy fell upon her knees before him and put her hands in his. She knelt down there and put her hands in his hand. "Oh, sir, at another time you shall know my name and who my mother was and who my father and how I never knew their hard history. Sir, at another time you shall know. I will discuss about or I will tell you about all these things afterwards, not now. At another time you shall know my name and who my mother was and who my father and how I never knew their hard history. I never knew that my father was in such a trouble, mother is no more like that. I never knew about it. But I cannot tell you at this time. But I will not tell all these things. I cannot tell all these things now. And I cannot tell you here. I will not be able to tell you here. All that I may tell you here and now is that your agony is over. Only one thing I can tell you now. What is that? Your agony or difficulty or trouble is over. And that I have come here to take you from it. From these problems, from these difficulties, to take you out. For that purpose only I came here. And that we go to England to be at peace and at rest. So what we are planning to do? What I have decided is to take you to England and we will stay there in peace and happiness. I pray to you to bless me. Please bless me. Oh, my dear Father, please bless me. His cold white head mingled with her radiant yellow hair, which warmed and lighted it as though it were the light of freedom shining on him. His cold white head mingled with her radiant yellow hair. His cold white head means white-haired head. Mingled with means mixed with her radiant yellow hair, her shining, that means brightly shining yellow hair that was mixed with, which warmed and lighted it as though it were the light of freedom shining on them. So they felt that it was shining brightly. That shows that the freedom they are getting, the freedom was shining on them, like that they felt.